Hi everybody, Keren here from tuppencecolored.co.uk, and thank you very much for joining me for my latest live stream. So, oops, forgot to put the lights on. Here we go, and that one. There you go. Can you see me a bit better now? Okay, so this is the third live stream that I've done, and I'm just sitting here talking to myself, so I hope that there are a few of you out there, and I hope that you will join in the chat, because I love to interact with you. So while people are joining, let's just go through quietly what I'm going to be doing today. So it's a virtual Stampin' Up workshop. Now, if you've joined me for my first Stampin' Up workshop, you may remember that I told you that I'd love to do real workshops, but because I have a very busy day job, excuse me, got my notes popping in here. I've got a very, very busy day job, and how this works, it's if you're in the UK and you want to shop with me, then there is a reward code that is just for this workshop, and it's underneath the video here, and I will keep it open certainly until the end of the month, and with any luck until the next live stream in August. If your order comes to less than £150, then please use the reward code, and at the at the end of the month, I'll add up all of the orders that I've had, and we will divide up the rewards, and everybody who's shopped with me using that reward code will get a little something direct from me. There is a link. Okay, so the code will stay open, and yeah, I think that's pretty much all I want to say today. Is so shall we get straight into the workshop then? How do you feel about that? All right. Now, I want to concentrate for this workshop on one stamp set. So I'm going to be using this throughout. And it's perfectly wrapped, and it is on page 150, I think it is, of the Stampin' Up catalogue. Sorry, 159. Whoops, tripod nearly went over. Starting early. So this is it here. And it is actually linked to a project kit. So you can buy the project kit, and it comes with all of these supplies to make 8 bags and 8 boxes. And the idea is that you and you and your friends all purchase one of these kits, and then you get in touch with Stampin' Up demonstrator, who comes along with the other supplies you need, like the stamp set. Now, I didn't get the project kit, or at least I didn't get it yet. I may in future. I just got the stamp set, and I have to be honest, I'm finding a lot of use for it. So tonight I want to share with you up to 3 projects. Seeing how time goes, it may be it may be 2, because so far I've said, yeah, I'll be here for an hour, and both times I've been nearer an hour and a half. So I've got 3 projects planned. We'll see how the time goes. All right, you with me so far? So first one, I want to bring in this. This is one of our little Kraft treat bags. Now, they come in a packet of, I think it's 8 or 10. Let me just check. What the preparation, Keren, preparation would have been good. Okay, let me just check. Where are our little treat bags? Here we go. Kraft Tiger Bag gift bags. So they're these. So they're £3.25 for 10. So they're quite, quite inexpensive. And you can, they're food safe. I think you can put little treats and so forth in them. But I want to kind of zhuzh this one up a bit. So I'm going to bring in my Tip Top Taupe stamping ink, and I've got this stamp already mounted up on my block just to save myself a bit of time, and I am just going to just stamp randomly well, it's supposed to be randomly, but somehow when I do random stamping it always comes out not quite random. Okay, just like that. And all of a sudden you've got a pattern back. So I want to do the back as well, because it would be rude not to. And some of them I'm stamping so that only part of the flower is there, so that it sort of looks like it's a piece of pattern paper that's been chopped up. There we go. And there we go. And already that is looking a little bit better. Okay, so stamp all over the front of that. You know what? It's better, but it still needs a little bit more zhuzh, in my opinion. So I'm going to bring in this here. And some little odds and ends and some bits and pieces that I have prepared. Okay. Now ahead of time, because I always do run out of time on these, I stamped up a little and a gift, and I used the round frame stamp there, and this is on Blushing Bride cardstock, and those are the colors that I'm going to be concentrating on today. I'm going to be concentrating on Tip Top Taupe and Blushing Bride, because I want to keep it simple. So I want to use one card set and one well, two colors, one color palette, if you like, one color combination. Okay, right, now I've said that, but I have kind of cheated a little bit, because I've cut myself some flowers out of using the botanical builders, and actually this one is pink pirouette, because I did do a few in pink pirouette, and I've actually cut these out of card that I've treated so that it has like a faux suede effect. Now I have put a video. I've got a video on you know, back in my library. I do have a video showing how I did this, but just basically I just took the card, I sprayed it with a mixture of water and glycerine, and it's about I would say it's about 1/8 to 1/6 glycerine to water. You know, you're not using gallons of glycerine. And I just sprayed it and just rubbed it into the cardstock, let it dry, that's important. And then when it was dry, it becomes very soft and flexible. It's, you know, it doesn't crack the way the cardstock does. Now you can treat it so that it's like a faux leather. And I've also done that in a video previously as well, but this one I wanted to use as faux suede. Now I have made up a few of them, but I wanted to save one to do on camera to show you how I did it. And this is sandpaper block, and to finish, give it a nice little nappy effect, I just rubbed it on the sandpaper block, and now I'm going to shape it. And this is how I shape these flowers. Now normally I do it on some of this stuff, but because I want that sort of roughed up effect today, I'm doing it on the sandpaper. And I will apologize in advance for my bouncy table, because as everyone knows, or you know if you've watched me before, I work on a picnic table. I don't have a craft room, we have an everything room. Husband has been thrown out of the house tonight and has gone up to his social club with his father to watch the soccer. and I have got the place to myself. So here, this also is Tip Top Taupe. This little stain mini piece. And this is just a sanding block that I got from the hardware shop. Nothing special, nothing fancy, nothing expensive at all. Where have I put the glue? It is okay. And I could use a glue dot, but glue dots and I don't get on. We have our differences of opinion. Right, now ahead of time, I went and I made up quite a lot of these faux suede flowers. So you will be seeing more of them as the live stream progresses. But there you are so far. Okay, so bring back what I have here. So I have my stamped out piece and it's cut out with a 2-inch circle punch. And I have some Blushing Bride sequin trim. And I'm going to cut off some of that. Just a little bit like that. There we go. Keep that for later. All right, and I have a piece of Blushing Bride DSP from the DSP stack here, and I am going to just flag the ends. Now I could use the triple banner punch, but I've chose to do it old school because not everybody has that punch, although it's a very useful one and I would definitely recommend it. But I thought we would do it. I thought we'd do it old school for a change. Okay, so how am I going to arrange this now? Okay. Okay, so I think that is looking quite pretty. Adhesive. So first thing, let's put the sequin trim onto the back here. I've got a bit of fast fuse. And I don't know if you can hear roaring and shouting in the background because have I frozen? Have I frozen? Yeah, let's try a refresh. Excuse me for a minute. Okay, so I'm just refreshing that. There we are. That's a bit better. Sorry, I lost my thread now. Yeah, if you can hear roaring and shouting, it's because there's a big soccer match on tonight. Very, very big one for the Welsh soccer team. It's the furthest the team has ever got in a major tournament. We are into the semi-final of the European Championships. So, and my neighbours have got the soccer on. So if you hear a lot of shouting and roaring, I don't think the match has started yet, but they're probably showing edited highlights from earlier games because that's the sort of thing they do. But while I'm, it'd be nice to see. I'd be glad to see the team do well, but I am not a soccer fan. So I'm doing this instead, and thank you for joining me. Okay. Oops, on the front of the back there. All right, so now that is looking quite pretty. So I'm just going to pop. This is one of my my business postcards. So I'm just going to pop that inside just to give it a bit of shape. And now I'm just going to fold over that top flap. Put it down with my bone folder. Okay. And this is one of our new delicate lace doilies, white delicate doilies. And this says it's white, but actually it's not a very vanilla. It's not an ivory tone, but it is slightly creamy. It's not a stark white, you know, not snow white. It's almost more of a winter white. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that over the top and pop that. And you can see it got a bit torn there because I got a little bit over enthusiastic with the scissors when I was opening the package. And this is one of our new gold binder clips. And there you go. Simple as that. So that is project number 1. Okay. Right. So shall we move on then? Shall we move on to project number 2? Now for this one, I am going to it's going to get a little bit more complicated, so wish me luck on this one because I'm doing it without a safety net. Now normally when I record videos, all the bits that go wrong, the bits where the cat jumps up or the tripod goes over, because that's usually a favorite trick of mine, they all get edited out. But of course when it's a live stream, can't do that, can I? So let's see how we are going to do. Okay, so these are the parts for this project, maybe all of them. Let's get the rest of them. So, okay, now to one side. Right, now in the new catalogue, the annual catalogue, which has recently gone live, we have got shaker tape. Right, here it is. It comes in strips just like this, and it's about at least twice as thick as our dimensionals. It's a good thick tape. So I'm going to be making a shaker card, so wish me luck. All right, now ahead of time, I've done some of the background work because I just, I wanted to save time basically. So ahead of time, just run you through what I've done. I've cut myself this piece of Blushing Bride card. So this is half of a piece of A4, just folded in half, and I cut myself a mat to go inside it, which is, I think it's about a quarter of an inch smaller all round than the base card. And this is, again, is Tip Top Taupe, and I've stamped all over the front of it, again in Tip Top Taupe with this stamp. But I stamped off. So first of all, I stamped on one piece of scrap paper, and then I stamped on the card because I wanted that subtle faded look. Okay, so with me so far? Good. All right. And I've also got this piece of Whisper White, and again using some of the stamps from the same set, I've stamped Happy Day in the center of it. I'm just making sure I've got the right one because there were a couple of incarnations of this. And I've also cut a 1 3/4 inch circle out of Post-it paper. Now this is the extra sticky Post-it paper, which has got sticky all the way around, but I'm just creating a mask. I'm just masking off. So I'm going to bring back the stamp that I just used on the gift bag, and I'm just going to give it a clean. Got a paper towel here, so I'm just wiping it off, and I have Blushing Bride. Just 1 minute because we go to the control room. Excuse me for 1 second because something is not right here. Okay, sorry about that. There was just something that wasn't quite right with my settings, so I wanted to adjust that. Okay, so Blushing Bride and the solid flower stamp, and I'm just going to stamp. Oops, that wasn't very good, was it? Let's see if I can match it. Okay, it's got a bit mad there, but what the hey? Hey. Right, now when I take away my mask, as you can see, where the mask was, the stamp hasn't, the ink hasn't stamped, is what I'm trying to say. So it looks as though that is kind of sitting in front of the background. And for this technique, if you're ever using this technique, the trick is to stamp what you want to be in front first, and then you cover it up, and then you stamp whatever's in the background. Okay, so that is the way that it all works. Okay, so I've marked out in pencil on the front of the card where I want this to go, and I'm going to use a fast fuse. Just because I have it handy, snail would do just as well. Okay. Now, I get my toolbox in here. Right, so I'm going to put that on one side just for a minute because I want to do a little bip more to the front of this card. And I've got my Tip Top Taupe, what's it called? Mini striped ribbon, which is rather nice and rather. So I'm going to wrap a piece of that around the bottom of my card. And there's an awful lot of chewing going on next door, so hopefully something good is happening. And I'm going to tie a knot around the middle of that, so it looks, I hope, as though I've taken two pieces of ribbon and knotted them together, when in fact I haven't. I've cheated. Okay, I'm just going to chop off my ends there. And that's and the other side here, just trim that. Okay, and we're just going to pull this about a bit until it looks like I want it to. Okay. Okay, so I'm reasonably happy with that. I've got just some ordinary Common or Garden sticky tape, the kind that you buy from the stationers. Oh, doesn't it always happen? You lose the end of the dratted tape. See, if this was a recording, you wouldn't see any of this. I would just edit it out. There we go. Gotcha. Gotcha, you blighter. I'm just going to fold over that end to stop it happening again. So you're all very quiet tonight. Is everybody watching the football? Is that what's going on? You know, so, you know, if you're out there, please do say hello, because I do love to hear from you. Whoops. Oh, okay. All right, so now that is going to go on the front of that ultimately. But first, we're going to put on some shaky tape, and we are going to put on some, put in some things to shape. Okay. So I am going to rub along the back with my embossing buddy and make that clear. Right, so what I've done with this, just to recap, stamped it ahead of time, cut out an aperture. Now I used one of the new layering squares framelets, and I also cut a fancy piece in the Brushing Bride. If you don't have these framelets, you know, just cut with your trimmer or your knife, just cut out a square and cut out a square frame, and it will be fine. All right, it will look, you know, it will look lovely. I just use them because I happen to have them. Okay, so just trying to think of the best way of doing this. Right, so I'm going to put the foam tape. I'm going to cut it. That's not long enough. I want a piece that is at least as long as my frame. Okay. I can use that bit in a moment, but when I'm actually doing the frame, I want to make sure that there are no gaps. I don't want any spaces for contents to run out of. And you know what? I think that's a gap, so I'm going to put a little piece, little snippy piece there, just to stop things getting out of hand, as it were. And while I've got the shaky tape out, I'm also going to put it along the back of my card. See now, this little snippy bit, I can use that, no problem. Okay, there you go. Right, now, embossing buddy or talcum powder, corn flour, something Fuller's Earth. Fuller's Earth is good if you can get hold of that. And I'm just, before I take the tape off, I'm just rubbing just to take away any sticky that's on the edge of that foam tape. Right, so now I'm going to put some pieces into my frame, and these are bits of sequin trim. And these are the silver ones, and you can use sequins. You can use glitter. If you're using glitter, be very, very careful to make sure there are absolutely no gaps at all, because I'm telling you, glitter will get through the tiniest of spaces. It's evil stuff. I have got some micro beads, and I thought about using those, but when I looked at those were pretty tiny as well, so I decided that on this occasion I would not risk it. And I might I might risk it at a later event, at a later date. So, how am I doing for time? Half an hour. Not too bad. Well, just over half an hour, actually. And am I about halfway through? Do you know what? I might actually hit the hour. I might, because chat is quiet. So, did I say these are the Blushing Bride sequins? And also, all I did was cut a couple of inches off my tail of Blushing Bride, and there it was. Okay, so I think that's enough. One word of something else though. So where is it? Where have I? What have I done with it? Here it is. I'm going to add some of these, and I think actually that is probably going to be enough. And these are the contents of one of these. So it's oops. Okay, I've frozen for a moment. A second while I refresh. There we go. That's better. So yeah, one of these silica gel envelopes. Now, I actually got these. I actually bought these because I had a bit of an incident with my graphics tablet. It got a bit wet, and I bought up a mess of these. They were very, very inexpensive. They were only about a couple of pounds. And I put them in with my graphics tablet to dry it out, to see if it would start working again, so that I didn't have to buy a new one. And guess what? It did. So I didn't have to buy a new one. So that was good. I was very happy about that. Okay. But those are the little beads that are inside, and they are lovely and shiny, and I suppose will help keep the will help keep your shaker cards nice and dry. So there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take the backing off the frame first. And I'm going to take half the backing off of this. So you know the usual trick where you just take, you kind of half release it, and that's a little bit tight actually, so put it that way, because it's distorting the card, and I don't want that to happen. Okay. All right, I'm leaving that one where it is. That doesn't really matter. Oops. Right. Now try not to throw all of the beads all over the shop, because that would not be good. Now I'm just lining up. At least I hope I'm lining up my frame with my card, and now I can pull away the rest of the back backing off of the shaky tape. I'm pushing down firmly around the frame. And there's my shaker card. Okay, that kit. I've got a couple. They've got stuck up at the top. And probably because I pushed down too far. Let's release them. And that's my shaker card. Okay, so let's just get tidied up. And we are 2 projects down. And 1 to go. So I'm just going to take a second here. I'm just going to check the controls. And oh, hello, Jason. Thank you. Thank you for joining in the chat. Okay. Thank you for joining me. I was beginning to think I was all on my own, so I was going to get a little bit discouraged. So thank you very much for taking the time to say hello. Don't know what time is it in. What time is it where you are, Jason? Because we're ahead of you, aren't we? Because we're east of you. So is it afternoon where you are? Morning? Afternoon? You see, I'm just exposing my ignorance now, so I think I'll just shut up. Right, 3rd and final project there. Right, now. Okay. So, all right, now this one was inspired by this. This is a bath bomb, which I bought in the discount shop, Home Bargains, and it was, I think, 59p. And this time of year, it's sometimes you're thinking about, certainly in the UK, our schools haven't quite broken up yet, so people are looking for gifts for teachers and for teaching assistants. So something like that. Believe me, I used to be a teacher, and we get loads of chocolates, and we get the occasional bottles of wine, and it's lovely, it really is lovely. But actually, I think most teachers would prefer something, something other than sweets and chocolates, and something that encourages them to pamper themselves is always welcome. So I thought I would make a little box for the bath bomb. And I did a bit of measuring of it, and I found that I needed my box to be about 3 inches square. So I have cut myself a piece of tip-top taupe, which is going to be the basis of my box, and I have cut it to 6.5 inches square. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' trimmer. Now, I've already done one half of it, so you're not going to have to see me go through this twice. And the reason why I've got my Stampin' trimmer is that I am less likely to kick. Oh, it's 306 where Jason is. Thank you, Jason. I'm less likely to knock over the tripod because that is always a risk. That does happen. That does happen to me. So far, I'm at 100%. I'm 2 for 2 with knocking the tripod over. Right, now that's the cutting edge. I don't want that for a moment. So I'm going to score. So I've got my lighter grey blade, and I'm going to score it at, what my notes by the side of me here. So I'm going to score it at 3 inches and at 6 inches. I'm going to turn it around. So the 1 inch score is at the top, it says here. And now I'm going to score it at 3 inches. And 3.5 inches. Got that right? Hang on, what am I looking for? So I want it to be, yeah, I need 1/2 inch there. So I'm scoring it at, yeah, again at 6 inches. That was not very good. Let me score that one up. also want to score it at, right, this is I've got the 1/2 inch score there, 1/2 inch score there, and I want to score it at 4 inches, but not all of the way down. Okay. Right, I think that's right. I'm going to do some cutting. I've got my big old scissors here. They're hanging on a hook at the edge of my table. They don't want to come off. So I'm aiming for this shape. All right. So I'm just going to follow what I've got here. So I want that. And I will put a cutting diagram on my blog. Okay. I will do that. Am I doing that right now? Yes. Always a worry. Okay. There we go. I'll put those pieces on one side. Put my scissors out of the way because now I've dealt with them. All right, now here are my 2 box nets. Now I've got to think. This is always dangerous, so I'm just going to fold my pieces together, and what I'm going to do is something that looks like that, I think. So that is the bottom of my box, and that will be the top of my box. The lid. Excuse me a second while I figure this out. Oh dear. Okay. All right. Yes, I had. Silly me, folded my folds the wrong way around. No wonder it wasn't working. All right. There we go. That's better. Okay, so I'm going to put some tape, if I can find it, a fast fuse if I can't, along the edge here. Tape, here we go. Put that along there. Okay. That's right. You see, this is you know the fun of crafting without a safety net. Because as I said before, if this had been a pre-record, I would have edited out that bit, and it would have all looked seamless. It would have looked wonderful. Okay, so how do I want it? How do I want it? Right, bottom of box, box, top of box. All right, so I'm going to put one more piece of tape on here, and then we'll do some covering of said box before we put it all together. Yeah. Okay. And that will be bottom. Top. Right. I have my cut myself. Where'd they go? Here they are. No, they're not. Here they are, the little devils. Gone running away and hiding from me. I have cut some squares of Blushing Bride from the Subtles DSP, and they're going to go on to the sides of my box. And I'm going to put the flower side out just for a change, because I'm normally I tend to go with the stripes, but today live dangerously. So these are 2 3/4 inch square. They're just a little bit smaller than the panels of the box. Oh, run out of fuse. Oh no, not fuse, snail. I do have more. I do have a refill on the other side of the room, but you know what? We'll just resort to wet glue because it's here. Because we have choices, you know, and there is quite a bit to be said for wet glue, because for one thing, it is very forgiving. Don't want to get it all over your silicone mat though, because do you know what? I'm not safe out, honestly. Oh, dearie me. You know, I watch all the, you know, the clever crafters out there, and it looks so seamless. And then I do it, and it all turns to poo. Never mind, it's real life. This is what it's really like. Crafting up the sharp end. Oh, hello, Lisa. Thank you for joining in the chat. Yeah, it's always nice to hear from people. And one on the top. I haven't put one for the bottom panel. I could, but nobody's going to see it, so I'm not going to bother. So, which is my lid? This is my top. I think I decided that was going to be my top panel. Okay. There we go. And that's how it all fits together. Okay, so far so good. Right, now it's very nice, but I don't want that to go rolling around inside it. I am going to put tape on there, just not for a moment. I want to make an insert for my the base of my box. So where's my little card? The card with my measurements on. Here it is, from the floor. Right, so I have a 3 7/8 inch square, and I'm going to crease 1/2 inch all round. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa says I'm doing fine. I'm glad somebody thinks so. Okay, I nearly cut a chunk out of my my silicone mat. Then that would not have been good. I just don't understand how have something in my hand, put it down, and it just disappears. I just don't know how that happens at all. Does it happen in your house as well? Right. My piercing tool is now going walkabout, and I've done my usual trick of cutting before I remember to burnish. Never mind. Worst things happen at sea. So that's my 1 3/4 inch circle punch. Don't want that one. I want the big boy. I want the 2-inch circle punch. Right. So I've creased all around. This is going to be a little platform that sits in the bottom of the box, and that the bath bomb sits in the middle of. So I want to cut a hole there so the bath bomb will fit into it. So I'm going to fold back the flap. I'll give you the word for a minute, and I'm just trying to get that as centered as I can, and punch. Now I've nicked out a little bit there. Actually, it's not very well centered. I haven't done a very good job of that, but never mind. It'll do. Right. Yeah. Oh dear, never mind. So you won't do that, right? You will take your time and you will center it properly, because you won't be YouTubing yourself doing it. It'll all work nice and properly for you. Okay. And again, tape, because everything else appears to have disappeared into hyperspace. So yeah. So what I should have done, but forgot to do in the heat of the moment, was to punch out a circle in a piece of any old copy of paper or something like that. Line that up in the middle of my platform, and then use that to guide where I was going to punch. And that's what I should have done, and it's what I didn't do. So sorry about that. So now I can tape up the bottom of the box. What am I doing? What am I doing for time? Oh, nearly an hour. There's a little bit more to do to this. So yes, thank you, Lisa, for the kind words. Lisa says she does that all the time. See, now I'm in the match of the day tune in my head. If you're a certain age, you will you will remember the match of the day tune. If you're a certain age and from Britain, you will remember the match of the day tune. Okay, so I'm bringing that in. Putting my edges even, and pressing, and we are done. And then that fits inside there. I'm just adjusting it so that it fits just inside the flaps, and then my bath bomb sits inside. Down comes the lid. So that's the basic box constructed, but it's still a little bit on the bare side. So I am going to decorate it a bit. Right, so what have I got here? Okay. So I have got some of the Tip Top Taupe ribbon. And I'm going to wrap a length of that around the top. Just like that. And want to put a little bit of, I will put a little glue dot on there. In fact, I think I'll do it now. So the glue dots haven't wandered off as well. Yeah, I'm just going to put a glue dot onto each of these 4 flaps because they are quite narrow. Now I kept them narrow because I wanted to be frugal with the card. You know, I didn't want to go using great lumps of card, but you could, with a little bit of adjustment, make them a little bit deeper, and then they would hold a bit better. There we are. It's better, so it doesn't kind of flop down now. All right. Right, so here is my Tip Top Taupe ribbon, which I shall wrap down the side, and some glue dots, I think, to hold it in place. Maybe gone glue dots, there you are. Okay. Wrapping that over the top. And chop off that bit. There's a band round my ribbon, and I have a ribbon rose that I've made. And let's have a look. Glue dot again, I think. And I will show you how I made this rose in just a moment, but I'm going to finish the box off first so that we can do that right at the very end. Okay, so there's my box. So, ribbon's a bit loose as well, but hey ho. Okay, so excuse me for a minute because I've got some envelopes here with all of my my components in, and they all seem to have disappeared on me in the heat of the moment. It's all going terrible. Does everybody have a good time? Are you all enjoying yourselves? Are you having fun? Is the main thing, isn't it? Everybody is having a good time. No, that's not what I want at all. Oh dear. Deary, deary me. Okay. Okay. Right, well, as I have cut out a 2-inch circle, I've thrown on the floor, never mind. Right, piece of Tip Top Taupe, and I've mounted up 2 of the stamps, again from the same stamp set that I'm using, perfectly wrapped. And I have some Tip Top Taupe ink. Go. Inking up my stamp, and I'm just going to hold that down. Now you'll notice that I've put the For You right up at the top of the block there, on the top of the form, and that's not a mistake. Sometimes I do these things and they are mistakes. That is not one of them. Excuse me, I'm just picking up something that just kind of fell on the floor there. Okay, so 2-inch circle punch again. Okay, and line it up nice and neatly and stamp up. Oh, that one's a little bit stiff, and I've popped that bit out, so it will go back in. I will do that afterwards. I will do that off camera. That is quite fixable. It's a nuisance, but it's quite fixable. Okay, right, and this does not want to sit where I want it to sit at all. It's been very naughty. There we go. Much better. All right. Right. Okay. Right. So there's my For You, and if I bring back in, these are some more of the suede flowers that I've been making, and I made some foliage as well. So I'm just gonna, this is the front, so put this in. Bit of my Tombow onto the back of that, and that is going to go into the middle there. And now I am going to put some faux suede foliage and some flowers on the front here. There's a nice big blushing bride one, so I'll pop that one on there. Hello, Diana from Germany. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining in the chat. I really do appreciate it, because it is very nice to know that there are people out there that are watching. Right, so those that joined me after the start, this is being recorded, and it will be available on my YouTube channel tomorrow. I think it will probably be tomorrow, maybe later today. Okay, one more little flower there. Have I got a? You see, I've got a soft. Oh yes, that one's the one of the Taupe ones. Okay, and there it is. Right, now we're a little bit over time, but I did say I would show you how I made the ribbon rose, so I will go ahead and do that if you like. So if you don't want to see how I made the ribbon rose, now is the time to leave. Right. So I'm going to clear away everything that I don't need here, which is pretty much everything. Excuse me. Okay. Excuse me for a moment while I just lean across the camera and just push everything out of the way. Just going to drop these scraps into the bin here. Okay, and I'm just going to show you how I made this ribbon rose. The first thing I'm going to do before I go any further, I'm going to turn on my glue gun. Okay, so that is warming up. I'm going to put in a glue stick, because the last time I made one of these, I forgot to put the glue stick in. Okay, so I'm going to cut a length of the Tip Top Taupe ribbon. And I'm also going to get myself something to work on. So there's my other circle punch. Here we are. This is my 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and I'm just going to get just a scrap of the Tip Top Taupe. And it's not even a full circle, you know, it's just a little bit too narrow, but it's just something that I will base my flower on. All right, now I saw this done by a lady called Wendy Rhodes on the Kraft channel. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for joining me. And you can catch anything that you've missed. Okay. Oh, and Sherry. Hi, Sherry in USA, North Carolina. Wow, I am international. Anyway, Wendy Rhodes. I saw Wendy Rhodes do these on the Kraft channel, and she used grosgrain ribbon. And I wondered if it would work with Stampin' Up ribbon, and I gave it a go. I bring this back in, as you can see. I think it worked. It worked quite well. Didn't work too badly at all. so I thought I'd give it a go, and this is how we did it. So I've tied a tight knot in the end. Now, I found that helped to stop the whole thing unraveling. Right? It's not, I suppose, strictly necessary. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to tie overhand knots. That's all I am going to do. And I'm not going to tie them tight. So this is going to take a little while I do these knots. I'm not going to tie them tight. I'm not going to pull them tight. I'm just going to leave them like that. And I'm just going to carry on with an overhand knot. And I've done these, and I've got a video coming up where I've done some of these with the ruched ribbon, and they work really, really well with the ruched ribbon. They really did. There's soccer going on next door. I don't know whether you can hear it. I don't know whether the mic is picking that up or not. It's the big soccer match tonight. It is for my team anyway. It is for Wales. So. Okay, I think I've frozen at this end, so I'm just going to refresh my screen just for a second. There we go. Okay, that's better. I can see the chat again now. And yeah, so yes, so it's, as I say, it's a very big night for the Welsh soccer team, because this is the further they've ever gone in a major tournament. The rugby team, we have we're very, very keen on our rugby here in Wales. So our rugby team is pretty good, but our soccer team is not so, we're not so well known for our soccer, because I suppose we emphasise rugby. I mean, rugby is taught before soccer in our schools. So it's just something that we all enjoy doing. So yeah, so this takes a little bit of time, and again, if this were a pre-record, this would be all speeded up for you. And in fact, when I've done it in the pre-record, which will be going up in a few days now, I have I do speed up this bit. Now, the longer the piece of ribbon you start with, obviously, the more petals you're going to get out of it, because each one of these knots is going to be a petal. And I don't think I'm going to get any more out of there. So I'm just going to tie myself off another tight knot at the end. And that, again, is just to stop the whole darn thing from unraveling. And I'm just going to chop away that last little bit there, so I haven't got too much to work with. Right, so this is what I've got. I've got a piece of ribbon with a number of knots in. And all I'm going to do is roll it up. So just like if you were rolling up a coiled paper flower, just roll it up. And wherever you've got a knot, you will get a petal. Oops. And hold on to it, because it has a life of its own. Okay. Here we go. And a bit of hot glue on this disc here, and I think that's going to be way too big, actually, but never mind. And there you go. There it is. That one came out quite well, actually, because it's always a bit random. It's always a bit hit and miss how they're going to come out. And that circle is way too large, but I didn't have a smaller punch with me. So I'm just going to cut away the bit that I don't need. Okay. And there you are. And that is how I made that rose on the top of my box. So if I bring back my 3 projects, actually, that could go nicely on there, couldn't it? Okay, so let's pull this up out of the way a little bit. And You know, let's not waste it. Quick dab of the old hot glue. And there you go. Yes, I am liking that. Right, I've got a string there. And what I will do later on, I will get my hairdryer and I will just waft it over, you know, over the roses, and that will get rid of any strings. Right, so there are the 2 of my projects, and here is the 3rd. So that is it from me. So unless anybody's got anything that they want to ask or anything they want to say. Okay. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, everybody who's been with me tonight. I do appreciate the company. If you joined me late and you missed any of this, then the record will be on my channel as soon as it's had time to be processed. But thank you very, very much for joining me on this live stream. The next one is probably going to be at the beginning of August, so watch out for that. And my YouTube channel will be posting as normal. I post on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So if you subscribe to my channel, then you can see what I've been up to. But thank you very much for joining me, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.